fantastic job, mentioned, I founded a nonprofit, and one of the ideas about this nonprofit was to engage the community in sort of this decision-making process. And so I started with youth and putting them on regional councils and regional boards to talk about some of the issues around environmental issues that were very important to them. But when you look at the structure, we are in this cold room, away from the resources, disconnected from what is really dear to us. And so the way this started today is a different way of thinking about engagement. What has happened, what I've heard continuously throughout this week is how do we get folks engaged? How do we involve the community? What are some strategies that are effective? Well, this circle, this invocation, the spirituality that started, doesn't necessarily start in this type of sterilized, isolated environment. What happens a lot of time is you're going to have these discussions in someone's living room, in someone's kitchen, around food, conversation, hearing stories. It's not going to be structured. It's not going to be with your watch. It's going to be looking at what are the important issues. And so I guess what I can hopefully allow you to go away and take with you is that you have to change the way you think about engaging with communities. It's not your typical structure that you're going to learn from a federal or state agency. It's listening to the community members, engaging community members. Now, my research focuses on traditional fishing practices of Gullah Geechee women. When I tell people that, they always say, I didn't know women fish. So you really have to look at the perspectives. And some ideas, some images become naturalized. So when you say, well, I didn't know women fish, were engaged in this manner. If you imagine women sitting on a creek with a cane pole and their straw hats, that's a familiar image. But what happens, it becomes so naturalized, it becomes so commonplace that people don't recognize that this is a practice that is happening that actually needs resources attached to it. But because it's one of these informal, common practices, we don't acknowledge that this is something we should be tying to our planning. This is something that we should be acknowledging that's happening. And when I think about gendered analysis, gender does not equate to women. Gender means we're looking at how it equates to men and women. The question is, what are, from my particular perspective, what are women doing differently? How are they engaging in the environment? But more importantly, why? Why are they engaging in the environment in this particular manner? And so in St. Helena, in the Gullah Geechee community, what I've been able to observe initially is that a lot of times it revolves around the tides. People come out high tide in the morning. They come back high tide in the evening. And it actually is separated by gender. What I see is a lot of women come out and do their crabbing with these crab baskets in the evening. So at 5 o'clock, you're seeing a lot of women by themselves coming in to the local areas and begin to do the crabbing. So what does that say? Why are they coming at 5 o'clock? Are they coming after work? These are the sort of questions we need to be asking. Why are they coming after work? Why are they coming after 5? Are they coming to supplement other food sources? Or is this a common practice? So it's really looking at the behaviors and trying to understand why these behaviors are occurring and looking at access. So the other part of looking at, we have these meetings, we call these meetings, and women don't come or community members don't come. And we say, well, we keep trying, but nobody will come to the meetings. Well, one of the reasons is, as Ms. Peterman mentioned, you know, it's inaccessible because of finances. But also, in particular with women, what happens is, okay, so I said women are coming and they're doing their crabbing at 5 o'clock. And then people want them to come to a meeting at 7 o'clock. Dinner's got to be somewhere in there. And what tends to happen is women are expected to do this double duty, to be engaged in this process. What is the benefit for the woman? What is she getting out of this if she has to put this on top of duties she's already doing? So you have to be cognizant of this double duty. So when you're trying to engage folks in the process, look at what they are having to invest in order to do that. And so I think what we really need to think about when we take away what we want to take away from today is how can I be more effective? Or I think the question I would like to ask and pose for the last 2 minutes we probably have is if folks know of some effective strategies that they have been able to use to actually get people out. And it may not be your standard after 6 o'clock meeting. You may have to go to have a breakfast on Saturday, or to go do gardening or fishing on a Saturday, or go to church with the community on Sunday. It's a different way of thinking about community engagement. So I implore you to throw out those textbooks you learned about, you know, working with community members, and go and talk. This is the scary part. You actually have to come out of your offices and go into the community and sit down and talk with somebody and find out what is really pushing them. What are their interests? You can't, what typically happens is agencies want to come in, they've already designed a strategy, and now we want community feedback. That's the standard model, right? Is that a familiar model? Well, that model doesn't work. But it, you know, the sad thing is it works for the agency because you can document, I've been to the community, I met with this person, I did it on this day, you can write up your report. You can get funded for it. But now I'm imploring you to really think about how do you define success? Is it just to process the paperwork, to go through the routine, or do you really want to see change in the communities and through realistic, genuine partnerships that you are going to create with the folks that you want to work with? Beautiful.